Hi, I'm Dave Baker, and today we're going to talk about some comic books I read. Batgirl number 40, All New Captain America number 5, Moon Knight number 13, Cyclops 11, and Outcast number 7. We're also going to talk about some manga that I got in the mail from Japan. First up this week is Batgirl number 40, which shipped with 2 covers. I bought this one, which is the primary cover. The other cover is a Cliff Chang Purple Rain spoof, which I did not buy because I do not want to support variant covers because they artificially inflate the market. In terms of what's going on in the book, Batgirl is fighting a robot version of herself, which is cool. There's also a lot of Black Canary, which I don't really care about as much because I'm reading a book called Batgirl, but whatever. The illustrations are awesome. Babs Tarr and Cameron Stewart are really meshing well as a team, and you can feel them really kicking into high gear. Overall, as a finale, it kind of slumps off in scale. There's a laser pointed at Burnside, but you never really feel like anything's going to happen. The only thing that really happens is like drones that are controlled by robot Barbara Gordon hit people in the head. But I still really like the book, and I say that it's a buy. Book number 2 this week, All New Captain America number 5. Rick Remender's been doing a really great job writing this book. I really have enjoyed it so far. The only one I haven't enjoyed is the whole like dream issue where Sin was really messing with Sam's head. The pacing was just really strange in that issue. This one is lovely. I also love the fact that it's Stuart Immonen drawing this $150 million looking like book, and like the logic inside of it is so comic booky. Like I love that Sam Wilson talks to birds. That's so great and only functions in comics. And I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely, as soon as he started doing that in this book, I was like, yes, this is great! So it gave me pretty much exactly what I wanted. Sam Wilson being Captain America, fighting bad guys, and talking to birds. It's a buy for me. Next up this week, Moon Knight number 13. Moon Knight's been one of my favorite books from Marvel. The Warren Ellis kind of establishment of this current status quo of Moon Knight just coming to a city and being slightly crazy, but being a vigilante that the government works with is awesome. The restrained narrative, everything being one and done, great. The artwork so far in the series has been absolutely wonderful. Then they announced Cullen Bunn, and I was like, sweet! I love Sixth Gun. This is gonna be great. I don't want it. I want either of the other 2 creative teams back, please. I did not enjoy this. The artwork felt really, really off. It felt like a traditional superhero comic. Nothing against traditional superhero comics. I love those. But that's not what this book is. It just doesn't have the right tone at all. So yeah, it's a pass for me. Sorry, Marvel. Not getting any more of my money. Next up this week, Cyclops number 11. I know I said Marvel wasn't going to get any more of my money, but I really love Cyclops. And look at him. He's like fighting pirates and stuff in space. It's awesome. I don't know. It's great. Cyclops started with Greg Rucka writing, him in outer space, going on a road trip with his dad. It was really, really cool. Then John Layman took over. The book struggled a little bit, in my opinion. Kind of felt like it lost its way. And this is it completely writing the course. All of the kind of third act payoffs that you want to happen in a good comic, it's there. A certain character dies, another character becomes a villain. It's absolutely wonderful, and I'm so excited to see what happens next in Cyclops, except for the next issue, which is a Black Vortex tie-in, so I won't be buying it. But after that issue, I'm going to be really excited. It's a buy for me. Outcast number 7. It's the last book this week. It's the comic about Andre 3000 and Big Boy. It's not really. It's about exorcisms. This one is the first issue after the first arc, so it's a good jumping on point. It also has a big kind of reveal that there's a bigger, badder world out there, and that a bunch of people that they thought were previously excised maybe are still possessed by demons. So they might have to go house to house and exorcise some people. Commit exorcisms. I really liked it. I thought it was great. It's a buy for me. So finally today, we have some things that I got in the mail from Japan. Fairly frequently, I order 70s manga, specifically Shitaro Ishinomori's stuff, from Japan to read as research. It's all in Japanese, though, so I can't really read it, but I can sort of read it because most of them are based on TV shows. Kamen Rider specifically is a really famous long-running TV show in Japan that I love, and so the storylines kind of mesh with the show, sort of, so you can read it pseudo well. The interesting thing about the Kamen Rider manga, though, is that it's hyper-violent, super gory, and not really intended for kids, but Shitaro Ishinomori's style is so kind of childlike and innocent. People with big noses and large eyes, and then there's a sword through someone's chest, and they're just a geyser of blood. The thing that I like the most about Kamen Rider and Shitaro Ishimori's work in specific is that you can really tell where he stops and where the assistants begin. In today's marketplace in Japan, assistants and the authors have such a symbiotic relationship. You can't really tell where they stop and where they start, other than like, holy crap, there's a billion lines on that page. That has to be an assistant. Whereas Shitaro Ishinomori doesn't really care. There's a double page splash in here of Kamen Rider Black Rider kicking a frogman, and the frogman and Kamen Rider are both just sketches, like straight up, not even rendered. They're just line sketches of their contours. And you can tell that he took that, handed it to assistant, and was like, make it better. And the assistant drew 9,000 blades of grass on the bottom and didn't touch the figures. Which I don't know if that's because Ishinomori was really specific about how those figures were drawn, or if the guy who was his figure assistant was sick that day, but it's really silly to see how that doesn't connect at all. Robot Detective, I can't really tell as much of what's happening. I mean, it's fairly simple. It's a detective who's a robot who goes around and solves crimes. But the nuances of how he does it and like the Sherlock Holmes nature of things, I don't really know because I haven't seen this show. So I can't tell you if the storylines are actually cool, because it's a lot of him like thinking and then thinking some more and then going into a house and then thinking and then driving a car and then he punches somebody. Whereas Kamen Rider is like, it's really simple. There's a bat and the bat is trying to eat someone and Kamen Rider punches him. But you can also see that like Kamen Rider has at least 4 or 5 assistants. Like a ton of money gets put in this manga. And this one is like him and a Speedlines guy. Like there are a couple panels in here where it's like 7 lines. Hey, okay, there's a nose and there's a mouth and there's an eye. I'm done. Let's do this. Let's move on. So I don't know if that has to do with the show not doing well, or if it was earlier in his career when he wasn't as big a name, because it did come out before Kamen Rider. But I enjoyed both. So, Robot Detective, Kamen Rider Black, Volume 3. I'm Dave Baker. Those are the comics I read this week. Next week, I'll be reading Gotham Academy number 6, All New Ghost Rider 12, Uncanny X-Men 32, and Captain Victory number 6, which is probably my favorite comic being published right now. I hope it's good. As always, please subscribe. Joe still needs the money. If you'd like to read comics that I wrote, you can find them here at theactionhospital.com. If you'd like to come meet me and my illustrator, Nicole Gu, you can go and swing by Meltdown Comics March 28th for their Zine Melt event. I'll be there selling mini comics that I made, Professor Cuties, and This Is Not a Girl Gang. Thanks for watching!